Hello and welcome to the Rankers Podcast, a podcast where we take anything and everything and we rank it. I am one of the rankers, your host, Jacob.
And I'm the other ranker. My name is Nick. What just happened with that intro?
I don't know. Did I do it wrong?
I think you were thinking of wanting to take that one part out that we've talked about taking out, and then you just started saying it and going for it.
I caved.
I loved it.
I froze. Should I keep it or should we do it again?
If you want to do it again, you can. Or do it because it's funny.
Let's just keep it. Okay. So just full transparency off the top, everybody. My guy Nick is getting over some sickness. So if you hear him hack in the background, he'll be coughing a little bit.
Just ignore that, I guess.
But he's alive and well. Yeah. I'm actually.
Does my voice sound like? Does it sound sick?
No, your voice sounds fine.
All right, great.
As always.
Thanks for tattling on me then.
Yeah, beautiful. I was just waiting for the
that
just in the background. Yeah.
It just makes it easier for editing later.
It does.
All those audio hits. You'll know every time you see it peak red, it's like, oh, Nick was coughing right there.
Yeah, Nick had a moment. Oh man.
Dude, how's it going?
Dude, it's going great. We're here for another episode of the Rankers Podcast, and just coming off the back of Versus episode, which was really fun, and we actually weirdly enough got a lot of feedback from that episode. You got in like a
some
comment,
Instagram comments.
Yeah, not like a war. It was like everything was chill. But shout out to Big Mike, one of our listeners. But he obviously knew more about it than both of us did.
It was well, what he was saying that he kind of prefers the user experience, which makes sense as to what the common day person would want in a system, because that's what we were doing. Xbox versus PlayStation was our last podcast.
Yeah.
And so he threw in there that he thought Nintendo actually had the best user experience when it comes to games, and I guess just anything along those lines. But I didn't say I totally agreed with him, because I'm still an Xbox fan. But he had some good points in there. I talked a little bit about older games. Like one game that I used to play all the time was some Zelda. I loved playing Zelda. So like all those kind of old Nintendo games, or that still come out. But anyways, it was a good time in the Instagram comments.
Yeah. That's what we love, though. That's like literally what we want.
That's what we've been asking for. Yeah.
Just know, Ranker fam, that like if you comment, we are not big enough yet to where we get thousands of comments a day and we can't respond to them all. We will see your comment and we will chat with you. And so definitely do that. We've already done that with some of you. But before we get on to what we're ranking today, Nick, I don't know if you saw it. We didn't chat about it off mic, but I wanted to shout out a 5-star rating that somebody gave us on Apple podcasts. And so I want to give a shout out to Moose Man Chuck, who gave us 5 stars. And I won't read the whole thing, although it's definitely great, but I'll just say, quote, "This is a great concept, guys, a winner on a national scale." And so that's high praise. That's awesome. Thanks,
Moose Man Chuck. That's awesome, dude.
One of the best parts about this is reading the Apple handles that people.
We've had some interesting ones.
We have, but
dude, that's awesome. Thanks, man.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate the love. We appreciate the fact that you enjoy the concept and the podcast. We enjoy it ourselves as well. And speaking of that, this list that we are ranking today is like, when we started this podcast, this was one of the rankings that was like on our minds. This is a huge, heavily talked about thing.
I don't know why we haven't done it yet, but yes, it is. And you know what we want to say every podcast, because we are every podcast, is that we're excited for it.
So
we are ranking the top 10 chips today. Let's go.
Yeah. So hold the applause, everybody, because we're going to get into it. But this is literally like, I can think of conversations I've had on like a road trip, or just like on the couch with like anybody. Like so many conversations come down to like, what's your favorite like chip, And what's great about this too is, as I was doing research, but as I was like putting my list together, I was like, this may be one of our most broad like lists that we've ever done, like other than, you know, like movies and, you know, certain lists like that, where it's almost like an unlimited pool. There's so many different types of chips.
It
So
really
many.
is. Well, and you said you're doing your research, because Ranker Fam, we put a lot into these episodes, blood, sweat, and tears of research.
You better
But
believe it.
yes, in my research in with this podcast as well, is I noticed the same thing, because I just kept looking up like chips, and it was like so many different ones were coming up, and I was like, well, what about like Pringles or something like that? And it was like anything I was seeing like didn't have Pringles, and then I was like, what? I can't even find something that has a list or like a photo with like every chip brand and chip flavor in it.
Right.
But
so Nick, why don't just kind of keep going off of what you were saying? What was kind of your criteria when putting you know, this list together?
So it was kind of a long list criteria wise, is that if the chip tastes good, then it should make my top 10. And if it doesn't, and I don't really like it, then it shouldn't make my top 10. So that was really my criteria for this episode.
I do have one question I wanted to ask. Did you, because when I put my list together, I'm not doing just like chip brands. Like all of my picks come down to like a specific. Yeah. Okay, cool. I wanted to make sure we were on the same page there.
Okay, yeah.
And
go ahead. Keep going. No, you got it.
I was just going to say, I also did not include, one of my favorite snacks of all time is popcorn. And I did not include that because that's not like a potato chip. So,
you know,
now potato chip isn't my only criteria. I don't want to say that before I go, but I don't think popcorn is chips. I think that's a different thing. So I didn't include it.
I did go back and forth with that, because I originally did have a popcorn in my list, and I was like, I can't do it. It's going to be the Nick pick, like picking whatever the soft drink was that one time.
Sweet tea?
Sweet tea. That's what it was.
On the soft drinks episode. I couldn't do popcorn because it was like, I love popcorn so much. I eat it almost like every day. And I was like, I don't want to bring that. Now I do have some Jake takes, I will say, but they are chips. So, you know.
Yeah. Well, let's just go ahead and get that out the way. Honorable mention would be the like the Smart Pop, whatever, like in the black bag. It's like the white cheddar popcorn that you can get at the gas station.
Yeah.
That has to be an honorable mention.
Yeah. And I'm a big kettle corn guy. So definitely those two. But we're talking about it, Nick. Why don't we just get into it?
Let's do it.
So Nick, you want to give us your number 10?
I will go ahead and start. So coming in at number 10 in the top 10 chips list for myself is the Doritos Cool Ranch.
Ooh.
So I honestly felt like I had to put a Doritos on my list, even though I'm not even a huge fan of Doritos. I'll just go ahead and say that this is the only Doritos on my whole list is number 10. So that could be a hot take. But when I do have a Dorito, it's gonna be a Cool Ranch. just one Dorito.
Yeah, just one.
But like, I don't know, like just the Doritos chips in general, they have so much like flavor. Like what's the other one that's really popular? Nacho cheese, I think. I think those are the two like kind of most compared, is the Cool Ranch and nacho cheese.
Yeah. Versus episode.
Versus episode. But if I am having one and those two are next to each other, I'm gonna go for the Cool Ranch. I also was thinking like the name Cool Ranch is such a great description.
It is so good.
I don't know why, but like, because even like eating one and thinking about what it tastes like right now, like it's kind of hard to describe. Like, I don't know what I'm eating, but like when I hear Cool Ranch, it's like, yeah, that's what it tastes like.
Yeah. That's a great description. And it also has the iconic look. It's like the little, like the colorful little dots on it. And I'll be honest, when I eat Cool Ranch, I don't think of like ranch. It's not like it even tastes like ranch.
No, it doesn't.
But there's just something about Cool Ranch Doritos. You're absolutely right. That's a fantastic
like the
pick.
word cool and the fact that it's blue like has some sort of weird marketing thing there.
Oh yeah. There's all kinds of psychology stuff that they do, man.
I'm sure, because nacho cheese, you think of red. I don't know. But anyways, Doritos Cool Ranch is coming in at number 10 for me.
I like it. Maybe a little hot take-ish that's the only Doritos on there, but a lot of the list that I looked up and did some research, Doritos was always super high on the list. And so that's a great pick. All right, I'm going to come in at number 10 with a flaming hot take already,
Oh,
because not so much
is
because
that
of
a
what
pun?
this pick is, but because of what it's like replacing on my list, what I don't have, and it'll make sense when I say it. But my number
Alrighty.
10 is baked barbecue Lay's chips,
Mm,
which means that
less
I am
flavor.
replacing the original barbecue Lay's
Ah.
with the baked because I think it's better. Now that may be a hot take because usually like the plain original baked Lay's are awful.
Mhm.
I can't stand them. But for some reason, I love the barbecue baked Lays. And so it's kind of that stiffer, kind of crunchier type of chip
Yep.
as opposed to the really thin Lays, you know what I mean? And so I just it's got a great flavor. It's those original barbecue Lays have so much of the barbecue on them.
Mhm.
So they ease back a little bit with the baked ones, which I like. It's a better chip flavor ratio in my opinion. And I love them. I know it's probably a little bit of a hot take, but it's coming in at number 10 for me. And in school, when I was in high school, they would uh like have them as like an option for the school lunch, and I
Yeah.
would dip them in honey mustard, and it was a game changer. It was a game changer for me.
Interesting. I can't say I've ever done that.
I just remember that. So
But
that's my
I
number
mean,
10.
honey mustard goes on everything when you're
Oh,
growing up, especially.
hold back on the sauces pick, brother, because we're getting that list
Yeah,
coming sometime.
dude. Oh, dude. Oh, I can't wait for that. No,
Oh
that's a
man.
great pick. So it's funny. I always like picture like the baked chips, the more like healthier option, because that's kind of the vibe that they're
Yeah.
going for, it seems
Yeah.
like. But it's like, how much healthier is it? But I will say that like there is a lot less of the barbecue flavor on the baked ones. So you're definitely
Yeah.
right about that.
I think the main
But
difference is just the grease factor. Like if you're eating baked chips and you like have
yeah.
on your fingers, it's not nearly as like oily.
Yeah.
I think that's the main part of it. But a lot of baked chips are misses. They're no-goes, but for me the barbecues stand out. So,
Yeah. No, that's a great pick. And speaking of barbecue, that leads me right into my number 9 pick, which is the original Lay's barbecue chips.
nice.
It is one of the classics. I think, if you're going to lunch or something and there's a party or whatever, there always seems to be like some sort of Doritos, maybe like an original Lay's, and then there's barbecue. And like barbecue is always the one that I'm gonna be going for. On the flip side of the baked ones, I would say that they have a little bit like of that smokier taste to them. Uh-oh, did I freeze? Oh no, you were just frozen. I thought I froze, but you were just frozen.
Oh no,
My
you're
fault.
good.
I'll start over.
You're fine.
I will say that the Lay's barbecue, like they're very sweet. They have this smoky taste to them, if that even makes sense. But I don't know. They never seem to disappoint, and they've always just been a true classic when it comes to chips. And so Lay's barbecue is coming in at number 9 for me.
The Lay's barbecue it's kind of like how Cool Ranch and nacho cheese, you always kind of see them like
Yeah,
together at a party or something like that. Well, it's the same thing with the Lay's and then the Lay's barbecue. That's always
right.
the second chip. It's one of
Yeah,
the only flavors that Lay's, like when you go to Sam's, they'll give them like their own big box that you
yeah,
can
yeah,
buy
yeah.
like the, 50 plus bags of chips or whatever in the box. And so you can't really go wrong with barbecue. And I just have a
Uh,
question. Is barbecue the best flavor for chips of all time? Because I
um,
feel like
my answer would be
barbecue
yes,
has a
and you'll
big,
see why.
okay. I feel like barbecue has a big place in the chip conversation,
It
like
really
a,
does.
like a big one. But did you just spoil a part of your list?
I did, but again, there's so many chips out there that nobody has maybe any idea what's to come on my list. But no, that's a great point that for some reason barbecue has a huge place in the chip world.
Oh man, it has taken over
And cheese,
for
obviously.
sure. Yeah.
Barbecue and cheese.
Barbecue versus cheese. That's huge. Well, speaking of cheese,
Speaking of cheese.
my number 9 is the classic Doritos nacho cheese. So this is the red bag, and
Yep.
it wasn't on my list at first, but then I was just kind of having some conviction, some Holy Spirit led thoughts that I was like, man, how can I not put nacho
That's
cheese
how I felt.
Doritos? And there is nothing like almost better than the chip itself is eating an entire bag on the couch, which we've all been there, and then you hold your hand up and it's
You can't see
just
your hand.
so much flavor left on your hands. It's like a second snack, and you just like, it's so gross, the concept of it, like thinking about the fact that our fingers have been in this bag of, starch and artificial cheese for like the past hour, and then we're just like, anyway, it's just, if you
That
want to
was
think
really
about
descriptive. You should have
the
kept going.
prototypical American, that's probably what it looks like, is me
Facts.
holding the empty bag of nacho cheese Doritos. Look, nacho cheese is incredible. It's not going to be my only Doritos pick on the list.
Okay,
I'll go ahead and
okay.
spoil that, but it is really, really good. Has to be mentioned. I think either this one or plain Lay's would probably be the most common on
Yeah.
anybody's top 10 list. And it's for a reason. It's really, really good. It stood the test of time. And yeah, I mean, what
What
can
can
we
we
say?
say?
What can we say about nacho
So
cheese? But I'll
did
go
you
ahead
just
and
give
push it
away
to you.
another pick that Lay's original is going to be on your list as well?
I don't know.
Okay,
Do you
okay.
guys think that you know me well enough to guess that now? Because I want to throw some wrenches in the list as we go.
Do you think you're going to have any Jake takes in this podcast?
Oh, I've got them. They're coming.
Great.
The
I
Jake
might
takes
have a
are on
Nick
their
pick.
way.
Sweet, let's go. I think we're gonna get into a couple of mine, which leads me into my number 8, which you
Let's do it.
probably haven't heard of, but you may have seen the bag before, but you didn't pick it up because you didn't even know what was going on. But that is the Sochil tortilla chips. That's how you pronounce it. Literally, these chips are amazing. Like, if you've ever wanted to try to get a tortilla chip from the grocery store and you really want it to taste like the ones that you eat at a Mexican restaurant or something like that, then you need to get these chips. They're really, really thin. They have like the right amount of salt and like they taste fresh. And I don't know, like, I think maybe that sometimes the difference is like when you're eating it at a Mexican restaurant versus like getting it from a grocery store, there's just like kind of different freshness taste. But I feel like these chips, for some reason, preserve this taste. But literally, they come in a little black bag. And are you
Wait,
looking
so
at?
it's not
Yeah,
these? Oh,
yeah,
it
it's
is these?
those. Yeah,
Okay.
that's how you pronounce it, is Sochil.
I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But like, you won't make a mistake if you pick this bag up. There's a couple of different flavors. I think one's just like more salty than the other. But like, if you take that red one, I think another one's yellow. But yeah, they're not like in the kind of basic spot. They might be like on the back side of where all the regular chips are or something. But like, these are the chips if you want to make something similar to, or get something similar to like a Mexican restaurant. Go get them.
Nick, I just want
I
you to
need to
know
get
that
like paid for that advertisement or something.
you you would use the tortilla chip that nobody's ever freaking heard of.
I said, hold on, we got a Nick pick right here.
So salsa or cheese guy at the restaurant?
Um, I mean, I like both, but I don't like to mix both, and I hate the
Oh,
people that do like to mix
yeah.
both.
I
Like,
don't
calm down.
like, if I'm sitting at a Mexican restaurant with you and you mix the bowls, like especially without my permission, and
Yeah,
we're both like
facts.
sharing. I'm like, who do you think that you are? This
Yeah,
isn't.
cheese dip ain't cheap, man. You can't be doing that. Ain't
Nah,
cheap.
bro. This small cheese dip is like $4. We can't just be, cross contaminating these two things.
Jalapeno or no jalapeno?
Oh man, back before my stomach stuff, jalapeno. But
Okay.
lately, just straight cheese for me.
Just straight cheese.
But I know some people. Shout out to my brother. He's a big jalapeno cheese guy. So
Shout out.
all
Dude,
right,
I
I'm
feel like
gonna.
your brother would also like it, like when you can get meat in it too. Like
Oh
if you
yeah.
get like the meat and the jalapeno, that's just like a whole meal.
They do like sausage. Have you ever had it with like the
Yeah,
sausage in
uh-huh.
it? Yeah,
It's
that is
actually
pretty good.
really good,
Yeah.
but it's like always like $10 and it's like
Yeah. Yeah.
you
You
got
always
one of
you
these.
look at your ticket like, what made my meal so expensive? Oh, the cheese dip was $7.29. That's what it is.
That's so true. Shout out to
Oh man.
Mexican restaurants all across.
We love you out there. You
We
are the
love you.
best in the
Keep
world. All right.
doing you.
I'm gonna do my number 8.
Do it.
And these are a big staple for me. I love these. They would definitely count as chips, I would say. But my number 8
Uh-oh.
is the crunchy cheddar jalapeno Cheetos. So most people are
I
gonna
can
go
picture
with the flaming hot Cheetos, which
trash.
I don't dispute that. Hey, I don't dispute that. But what I have to say is even better than that, and it's a little bit of a sleeper, and I don't think it gets enough credit, is the orange and green bag. If you look at it, it's the one with the green on it, and it's the cheddar
Yeah,
jalapeno
I've seen it.
Cheetos. And so I'm going with those all day over flaming hot. It's got such a good flavor. It's got the, the crunchiness
Yeah.
and just all of what you need, but it's not too much like you're eating a bunch of red 40, like red dye, and like you're like consuming it over and over again. It's not an incredibly intense amount,
Yeah.
but it's also just the right flavor. And it always just gives me what I need, which is just some cheddar with a little bit of spice, and that's what I'm doing.
I'm gonna be honest, I can't remember the last time that I had those.
Really?
Yeah, straight up. But I'm sure I'm so distracted.
I know. I know. My wife is doing something in the background.
That's so funny.
She's got to leave really quick.
Bye, Maddie.
She's
Shout
doing
out.
something. Shout out to the wife.
What does she
Uh,
think about cheddar jalapeno
what do
Cheetos?
you think about cheddar jalapeno Cheetos? I'm talking to you, babe. Yeah. What do you think about cheddar jalapeno Cheetos?
Oh, they're good.
She's good. They're good.
Okay, nice.
But she's more of a hot Cheetos fan.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about those a little bit later about what you thought about the Flamin' Hot Cheetos, because those things are like so popular, and I don't know if it's like a fad or like people actually like those things.
They are really popular, like weirdly, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why. They have like some sort of cult following.
They do.
They're in like every other meme that I see on the online.
Oh man. All
But
right.
that's a good pick.
We
Yeah,
keeping going?
like I said, I can't remember that the last time that I had those. Maybe I'll have to give them a try again.
Yeah. Get on it. Get on that game, bro.
I will, man. All right, so we're getting to my number 7.
Yeah.
My number 7 is probably the most basic one on my whole list, if you could say that. And when I say basic, I mean original. They are the Cape Cod original chips, the sea salt ones.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have any Cape Cod on your list at all. But these things like,
Don't ask me to spoil my list.
oh, sorry.
What do you think this is?
I don't know.
I don't know what your number 1 is, Nick, but I was just gonna say.
Mine's actually Cape Cod original, which is your number 7.
Oh no.
Oh,
Sorry,
great.
keep going.
If you like Cape Cod, shout out Ranker fam. But anyways, this is making my number 7, and I really like the kind of like that baked feel. It's a little bit more like crispier.
Yeah.
The way you said that. Yeah, they got that crispy feel. But as always with some of these random podcasts that I decide to do, I dove into the history a little bit of Cape Cod when I was reading about the original sea salt ones. I won't bore y'all to death, but I just wanted to say that the brand started over 40 years ago with 2 small business owners decided to make their chip dream a reality. And I wanted to point this out because they set up shop in Massachusetts, and Massachusetts is a great state. And that's where they started. And that makes sense. Cape Cod up there in the north.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's just kind of cool that 40 years actually isn't even that long at all. So, I mean, they haven't really been around that long out of Massachusetts, but like just the plain like sea salt, like crispy chip is like, I don't know. They're obviously fairly greasy, but like that probably has a lot to do with why I like them. But it's just that kind of plain potato chip. Like this is basic and it's good, and this is all I want in this moment.
Oh yeah.
So.
Yeah, Massachusetts is really, really great. I love it a lot. I've never been there. But I think that it's.
Have you ever been to Boston?
I have never. I have.
Dang.
The closest I've been to Boston is DC.
Makes
So
sense.
that's the farthest north I have gone is Washington D.C. and there's not really anything famous in Washington D.C., so there's not really much to talk about it.
That
But
makes
anyway,
sense.
back
Yeah.
to Massachusetts.
The
No,
Cape Cod.
Cape Cods are, come on.
Come on.
Just I'm
We
gonna
don't
hold.
see them as much down here, but
Yeah,
you got to seek them out a little bit.
yeah, you got to find them, but they're there.
They are there and they're good. And it's
I,
coming in at number 7 for me.
I love that pick. I love that pick for sure. I'm gonna stay in the Doritos family though, Robert, and I'm gonna go with spicy nacho cheese Doritos. And this is it. This is the one. So when I talk about Apex Mountain for Doritos, you know what I mean by Apex Mountain? Like
the
top, right? And when I talk about Apex Mountain for Doritos, this is it. All right. Now, I have an honorable mention Dorito that I'll mention at the end that I think is discontinued. I don't even think they make it anymore.
And you got too much Doritos on your list, man.
Which, it's not your cheese, it's my cheese, is what I'm trying to point out. Sorry. That was
great.
maybe the worst Rankers podcast joke I've ever done in my life. No,
Nah.
actually, that's not true because I've cut out a lot worse jokes that you, the audience, the listener, have not heard because it was that bad.
That's probably a good thing. I've said some off the cusp things that shouldn't be said.
Do you remember the Waffle House thing that went too far that we did that I had to cut out? Anyway,
yeah, that was a great thing to take out.
It was. So anyway, spicy nacho cheese Doritos. Look, it's everything that you want with it takes everything that the normal nacho cheese Dorito does, but it adds a little bit of spice to it. And I'm a big fan of spice for sure.
Wait, what is the chip again? Spicy nacho?
Yeah, so it's like the maroon bag. So like there's the red one, which is the original.
That's
spicy
so sad
nacho.
that we know it by color.
I know. And then there's the purple one. There's like the sweet chili, which I guess would be an honorable mention, but the sweet chili is a little too out there for me for Doritos. But
at that point, you're just trying to hurt yourself with food.
Are you a big Doritos Locos Tacos guy? One of the best inventions by mankind.
I will say they're pretty good. They're pretty good. I'm not a frequenter at Taco Bell, but they're
not
pretty
anymore. Good. I used to be a frequenter at Taco Bell. I used to run that junk, but nowadays it runs me.
Used to dude, 2 jokes in a row.
I'm killing it. Just get away from my pick. Go to your next one. Go ahead. That was my number.
That was a good pick.
Thanks, man.
I loved it.
But that was my number 7.
That was good.
So,
all right. My number 6. I'm glad that you've pointed out that barbecue goes with chips because it sure does. And I have coming in at number 6, the Lay's Sweet Southern Heat barbecue chips.
Oh.
These things.
I'll have to look this up.
Wait, what do you mean look it up?
Which ones are you talking about?
The Lay's Sweet Southern Heat.
Hold on, let me see. What color? What color is the bag?
They're like
that's how I remember. Okay.
Yellowish red. It's basically the barbecue chip, but they add a little bit of like spice to it.
Wow.
But literally, yeah.
Hashtag.
You ain't had them before?
Never had them before.
Wow. Well, they're good.
Do me a favor and blow my mind really quick.
Yeah, sure. But what I was saying is basically, well, here, I'm trying to.
You're good. You're good.
Just taste the barbecue chip, the normal Lay's barbecue chip right now. You got it in your mouth?
I've got it.
Okay. And now just add a little bit of like spice to it.
Oh.
But not like a spicy, but like a sweeter spicy.
Ooh.
Okay. Now you have this chip.
It's right here. I'm tasting it.
Nice. So for me, it basically just takes up the Lay's barbecue just up a notch, and that makes sense because it's spicier, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, they're not as popular, I will say. But if they're there, I'll grab them. And like honorable mention here, there's also a honey barbecue that they have from Lay's, and I feel like it kind of runs in their kind of barbecue line. But those are also really good as well. But yeah, number 6.
It's hard Southern Heat. It's hard to get out of the shadow of the classic barbecue, right? And so
they're not gonna do it, but
that's a great pick, though. I love it.
Yeah, man. So Lay's Sweet Southern Heat Barbecue coming in at number 6 for me. What's your number 6?
So my number six is it kind of crept up on my list. I haven't this particular chip has gluten in it, and I don't eat gluten
Oh,
currently, and so
ew, gluten.
I haven't eaten this chip in a long time. But so I didn't think about it at first, but I then I found it and I saw it. I was like, oh my gosh! I was like, that chip is amazing. I used to love it. I still love it. If I could eat it, I totally would. My number six is the Harvest Cheddar Sun Chips. And
Hey, man.
so this is yes. So this is the sun chip in
It
my
is.
opinion. It is
It is the sun chip.
the supposedly the healthy chip and
Yeah.
whatever that means with artificial cheese on
Well,
it. I
they
don't
got
know
the
how.
healthy choice circle green on the bag, so
You know what? That's what we all need in our life is that little healthy
the
choice thing,
green circle.
the stamp. But no, these chips are
Yeah.
elite. They really really are. They
Elite.
have that perfect crunch. They do have the sun chip flavor, but it's not as bland as the original sun chips
Facts.
because it adds this nice little cheese flavor. And we are really, I mean, golly, it is cheese and
Cheese,
barbecue
man.
kind of
Cheese and
rule the
barbecue.
world for the chip
Yeah.
for chips, right? And so what I mean, harvest cheddar is a really really good flavor. It's a unique type of cheese flavor. It doesn't taste like all the rest of the cheese flavors. Some of
Hmm.
those can get kind of similar and stuff, but I don't know, man. I love the sun chips. Are you a sun chip fan?
I'm a Sun Chip fan.
Okay.
Just like real quick, if Sun Chips, like the company, did not have the Harvest Cheddar, like they would be non-existent because they're like original Sun Chip, and I think they had some other like tomato type
Tomato basil.
version.
No,
Yeah, tomato basil.
get out of here. I don't want it.
It's not bad, but like if they just had those two or maybe something else, like that company would not be a company, man.
No,
Actually, I
the
don't know who makes Sun Chips. Probably a company
probably, but the harvest
yeah.
cheddar, the harvest cheddar has really really bad back problems because it carries this franchise just
Yeah,
completely.
absolutely.
And that's a great point that you bring up. They would be nothing without the harvest cheddar. And so harvest cheddar, gosh, number
Great pick.
six.
I love it.
Love it.
I love it. Love it. Love it.
Top
Speaking
five.
of cheese,
Oh yeah.
about the cheesiest I feel like you can get is the original Cheetos. That's number
Wow.
5 for
Just
so
started
number
over.
5. So number 5 for me is the original Cheeto. Not
Oh
flaming
man.
hot, not whatever else you want, not puffs, whatever. Just the
Oh, no
original
puffs.
Cheeto.
No puffs?
Yeah, no puffs. No puffs. I like the original Cheeto over any other Cheeto there is. I will say, since I know we already talked about Flamin' Hot a little bit, but I went through like a phase where I think I wanted to like Flaming Hot Cheetos, and I just couldn't get into it. But I did for a long time and acted like I liked them, but I really didn't. And here I am years later, still wanting to go back to the original Cheeto. It's just like the Cheeto in of itself is so unique when you think about it. Because I know we're
Yeah.
talking about like potato chips and everything, but I do think Cheetos falls into this potato chip category, even though like they shouldn't, because it's not like a chip, but yet they are right up there with all the big
No, it
guys. They're
is.
next to the Lay's. They're a
Yeah,
chip,
it's chip for
and
sure.
like I don't even know why people like Takis or something. They shouldn't even be compared to Cheetos. They're playing two
Takis.
different leagues.
Takis was a phase of my life for sure. I
I
was I
believe
was
that.
in that boat where I was like, dude, everybody's eating Takis and they're
They
freaking
were,
just the
man.
flavor's crazy, right? But Cheetos, it's like it always
It's
just
just
calls you back home.
it does. It calls you back home. But yeah, forget you mentioned getting dirty hands with the nacho cheese Doritos, but like Cheetos, man, you can't eat like one or two Cheetos without getting it all over your hands. Like just forget trying to stay clean while you're eating Cheetos. Um, but yeah, I don't know. There's just something about a Cheeto. It's so unique and it's cool. They're crunchy, a lot of flavor. Cheetos are something that I could eat a lot of. I could see myself eating a whole bag of that, like you mentioned with the Doritos. But yeah, Cheetos, they got to make the top 5 for me.
You know, have you ever seen the freezing cold Cheetos? It's like I don't even know what the flavor is, but it scares the crap out of me. It's a real thing, but they're like blue. So instead of like the flaming hot,
I
it's like
think
the
I did.
opposite.
Yeah.
Just
I
mortifying.
I've seen him before, but I'd never tried it. I can tell you that.
What have we come to? I've never tried it, probably
That's
never
just too
will.
much dye, I guess.
It's too much. Yeah, they shouldn't be that color. Like there's just no
Yeah.
reason for them to be that color. But anyway, I love your Cheeto pick, bro. Love
Thanks,
the heck
man.
out of it.
That's
Some good marketing. Chester, he stood the test of time as well. And
yeah,
has he?
facts.
I think so, yeah.
I don't know his name.
This is a different
Chester the Cheeto.
Chester the
Cheeto.
Cheetah Man.
What is he? He's some sort of like
He's like a tiger, right?
tiger-ish. Yeah. I don't think he's a tiger though, but he's something along those lines.
Maybe he's a cheetah because of the Cheeto. That makes sense.
Oh, that makes sense.
We just
Dang.
freaking figured it out, baby.
Let's go.
All right, my number five.
Somebody was just screaming like, "You idiots! It's a cheetah." Thanks for
Whoever is
that.
screaming that at us, we're here for you.
We're here for you. We love you, Ranker fam.
All right, so my number five has already been mentioned. It's incredible. This chip is incredible. I ate this chip for lunch today. That's not even a lie. I have a bag of it in
Really?
my house right now. I had it for lunch with my sandwich today. I'm a big
Was it
sandwich
Cape
guy.
Cod?
Cape Cod.
I knew
Cape
it.
Cod original. It is so good. It's different.
It's
It
so
hits
good.
different. There's something about the texture and just that like the texture changes the flavor for me. Like it's not the same as like the original Lay's solely
Mhm.
because of the kettle cooked factor.
Yeah.
And there is something about kettle cooked that just changes everything. And so particularly the Cape Cod, even like I just love the way the bag feels. I
Whoa.
love I love picking. Oh, we're gonna take a 5-minute break. So no, I love the just like picking it out of the store, and I just feel like I'm classier buying the Cape Cod chips as opposed to like the
That's what it
regular Lay's.
is.
I'm
That's
not
what it
dogging
is. Tell the
anybody
truth.
buying Lay's. I'm not dogging anybody buying normal Lay's. Look, there's something about that yellow bag. It's fantastic. It's classic. Literally classic Lay's. But
Literally
Cape
classic.
Cod, it's just like I love foods that the marketing they use is like doesn't look like food marketing. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
those. Those are usually like the best brands when it's like they don't care about the marketing tricks, the colors that supposedly
Hmm.
attract people. They're like, we're going to be what we're going to be. This is our brand. This is what we're doing. And here it is. And if you like it, eat it. And it's
And
fantastic.
that's what they've done. The
Cape
homeboys
Cod
out of
out of
Massachusetts.
Massachusetts. You've done it, you crazy fools.
You've
You've done
done
it.
it. This is the greatest bag of chips.
It is, and I'm only at my number five, so it just
Oh
only
man.
gets better from here. So Cape
I
Cod,
was
we've
thinking of
already talked
L,
about it. So
the greatest cup of coffee, world's best
oh
cup of
yeah,
coffee. That's what I was thinking
oh
of.
yeah, world's best chip.
World's
Well,
best bag of
I
chips.
think Burger King also says they have the world's best hamburgers. So whatever you want to take from that
Talk
is
about like colors and marketing. That's that's
yeah.
Burger King for you.
All right.
Um, Great pick. Love it. Number four has
Oh yeah.
also already been mentioned. It is the Harvest Cheddar Sun Chips.
Oh yeah.
Um, I have in my I have in my notes that like I don't know why these are the so-called healthier choice. There's probably something along the lines of like why they are, but they are for some reason. Like I don't know if you're going to your typical like Subway, Firehouse subs, what have you when it comes to your
Ooh.
Subway shop,
Oh,
but
I
like
hear. Ooh, I just.
these,
I just smelled another ranking coming up one day when we rank these
ooh,
sandwich shops.
facts.
Sorry.
Firehouse all the way. Never
Uh,
mind, just kidding.
what?
But yeah, like typically, like I'll see these like Harvest Cheddar Sun chips there, like in a Subway. They'll be lined up with a couple of other things, and it's like I'm gonna go with these today. And then the next day it was like I'm gonna go with these today. And then the next time I'm gonna go with these. And so like I think that's kind of how the Harvest Cheddar caught on for me at first. But they're great, and like they do have that awesome amount of crunch that like it's not an overbearing level of I don't know grease and like tons of flavor. but at the same time, it does have a lot of flavor. And I put if my chip has a wave in them, it's gonna be these. So I'm not saying that I'm not gonna have anything else on my list, but I'm definitely saying that if another chip has a wave in it, it ain't gonna be for me. But the Harvest Cheddar one is the best one. Those little cheddar pieces getting stuck in between the waves, man. Such a good chip.
Oh man, such a good chip. And Harvest Cheddar Sun Chip really is an elite pairing with a Subway sandwich. There's something about that particular sandwich restaurant with that particular chip that's just a match made. And
That's how it caught
heaven.
on for me. I don't know what
It's
happened
good.
there, but
Harvest Cheddar, it's creeping its way up on my list, honestly, as I'm talking about it. I'm like, why didn't I have this high?
was it the little cheddar pieces in between the waves?
That's what it
Was that
was.
descriptive enough for
It
you?
was perfectly descriptive there, Nick. Thank you for that.
Welcome. Let's hear your number 4, man.
My number 4 is a sleeper, no doubt. I know it's a
Bet.
sleeper because you even slept on it as you glossed over it because it's not as popular. People don't give it enough credit, but this chip is elite. It's incredible. I do not use that word lightly.
You said elite a lot in this podcast.
I have. I just noticed that too.
I'm sorry. I totally destroyed your intro.
No, I did. I have said it a lot. I don't really know why. Okay, guys, my number 4. My number 4 is the honey barbecue Lay's. So this chip is different. So it's weird where Lay's was like, it's weird that there's a barbecue sauce and then a honey barbecue sauce. Like, I don't think a lot of people know the difference. Like, a lot of people just assume that barbecue is like honey barbecue, but there is a difference. And the difference is, again, when it comes to chips, I'm a big flavor to chip ratio guy, right? So I want the perfect amount. And for some reason on the honey barbecue Lay's, as opposed to the normal barbecue Lay's, the ratio is just better. It's a better flavor. It's a little bit sweeter, right? But it's the same amount of just deliciousness, and I'm running out of adjectives and different things to say. I don't even know if that's the right grammar.
So add a little bit of kick, and then you have the sweet Southern style.
Oh, okay, right. Just a little bit of kick. I'm gonna have to try those because I haven't eaten them
you
before.
might like them.
I might like them. Have you had the honey barbecue ones?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, they're great.
Okay. Yeah, they're
I
good.
wanted to also put them on my list, but I was like, I'm gonna just mention them as an honorable mention. I can't have like 3 barbecue chips of the same brand.
Yeah. It's hard to do because it's like there are so many barbecue flavors. So like picking the best one and seeing which one kind of reigns supreme. But for me, as far as Lay's go, I love the honey barbecue. And so if I see that in the store, if I'm in that barbecue type of mood and they happen to have that one, that's always going to be my jump right there. I'm going to go to that one. So honey barbecue Lay's. Guys, if you haven't tried it, don't sleep on this chip. It's like the golden colored bag as opposed to like the yellow one. Go try it for sure at your local supermarket.
Go try it. Don't sleep on it. I'm here for that pick.
Try all of our picks.
Try all of our picks if you haven't.
Yeah, if you haven't.
Number 3 is my second tortilla chip on my list. And this one I'm even more excited about because the first tortilla chip I mentioned, you wouldn't really see or maybe notice. This one is behind that bag that you wouldn't notice. And it is the Tortillas Cantina style chip. And I know you might as well go ahead start looking it up, Jacob.
What the heck? How do you even spell it?
This tortilla chip, man. Hear me out. I wish you could like try it as I'm telling you what it tastes like. But this flavor in specific, the Cantina style that I'm putting here on my list, tastes like a tortilla chip had a baby with a nacho cheese Dorito. So basically, like take your normal tortilla chip and your nacho cheese Dorito and put them together, and that's what this tortilla chip is. It's got a lot of flavor to it, but they're also known as tortilla chips.
I've seen these.
Yes, dude, do not sleep on that. Grab a bag. I promise you will not be disappointed. But yes, queen.
Yes. If anybody's not getting that, it's spelled Tortiyahs.
Yeah, I said tortillas.
Is that brilliant marketing or the worst marketing I've ever seen in my life?
I think it's not great, but here's what's so great about it is that that bag right there is the same. They're not trying anything crazy. They're not out here like we got to be this color, have this on the bag. Like I don't even know what's everything that's on the bag because it's confusing because it doesn't matter because their chip is great. Um, but definitely have some sour cream with it. Tastes great. But honestly, their slogan is superior dipping chips. So like, AKA, they ain't playing no games, y'all. Go try the tortillas.
I just have to say, Nick, this is kind of in your wheelhouse as a marketing guy, but that's not the best marketing I've ever seen. Even that slogan is kind of hard to say. The superior dipping chip. Is that what it is? Did I say it
But
wrong?
they don't play no games.
They apparently not. I'm gonna have to try this, and I'm not gonna leave this conversation, Nick, because I'm actually gonna lead
Yeah.
into my number 3, which is
You have a
tortilla
tortilla chip?
chips in general, just tortilla chips.
Yeah. Oh,
So
what the? Bro, you
I
got this
didn't
podcast. You don't even know he's.
I didn't pick a certain brand, but I have 2 brands I want to give you. I have 2 brands I want to give you. So one is like just probably my favorite tortilla brand, what I think is
Mission
like the best as far as just like one that you can buy in the store,
on the
and
border.
that is On the
Mission.
Border.
There
On the
we go.
Border is incredible. I don't want to hear about Tostitos. Get out of my
Nah, they
pantry.
trash.
I want On the Border all the time. They're thick, they're big. It's just an incredible tortilla chip, and you can't really get
Yeah.
much better than that. Watching,
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
wa- watching you try to hold that in.
Oh man, I'm crying. I'm
The
such
best
a
part of that was
child.
watching you try to hold it in and try to not break. I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry I did that, dude.
All right, so for overall taste and appreciation, On the Border is my go-to. But for price, if you're balling on a budget, Santitas tortilla chips, that's
Yeah, yeah,
definitely the
yeah.
way to go. They fill up
They
the
got that chick
bag.
on the front dancing.
Yeah. They fill up the bag really well. You're not gonna get a lot of empty space. They're only like $2.49 a bag. You can get the white corn ones, you can get the yellow corn ones, whatever it is. That's the
That's
main
not
one.
bad.
Like I can't afford On the Border. So the main one that we get in our house
Dude.
is usually Santitas. And we
Yeah,
run
yeah.
through those things because we're like tacos once a week kind of a family right now. I
Yeah.
just had it for leftovers tonight because we had it last night. And
Word.
Santitas, and then yeah, On the Border's next level. So tortilla chips in general, and here's what I'm gonna
Yeah, yeah,
say.
yeah.
I'm a little bit weird, but I love eating
Facts.
tortilla chips plain. Like
Yeah, I
I
do that.
especially now, the ones at the Mexican restaurant aren't as good plain because you got to like put salt on them and it's better with the salsa. But I just mean like the ones that you buy at the store. I take that like as my chip for like lunch some days, you know. I love eating those plain. They've got a lot of flavor on them. The salt is good. I like the consistency of the I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
you can't use consistency with a tortilla chip, but I like tortilla
No, they
chips.
can be consistent.
Yeah, you think so?
That's not a bad word. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thanks. So that's my number 3. Tortilla chips are just next level for me. Love them. Boom. There it is. So I'll have to
Dude.
try both of those brands that you
Yeah,
mentioned.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'll text them to you because I don't want to say them both again.
Okay, yeah, there.
They're great.
All right.
No, that's great. Low key shout out honorable mention. Mission chips are
Yeah.
they're okay, I will say. But I had ones recently where they're like the slim.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like
They're like
they're
the
like
thin.
rectangles.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Those are pretty good, especially for
Yeah.
like dipping.
Yeah.
Like if
Those
you
are
dip
good.
out of the same can, you got to get down lower. Like
Those
those are
are good
perfect for that
guacamole
stuff.
chips. I'm not a big
Yeah,
guacamole
yeah,
guy,
yeah.
but those are good
Me
guacamole
neither.
chips. Yeah.
Me neither. Guac's okay. Ain't totally for it. All right. My number 2. I'm excited for my number 2 because it might even be more of a Nick pick than having Doritos at number 10. Um, but one huge brand that we haven't talked about at all are Fritos. The
Okay.
Fritos flavor twist, the honey barbecue
Dude,
version is number 2 for me. There's no way that's your number 2.
I promise you, with all of my heart that that's my number 2. I cannot
No way.
believe that.
That's crazy, bro.
This chip is on another level.
Dude, it's
You go ahead
another
and talk about it.
level. Dude, so I wrote a story in my notes for these chips. I'm excited to share it with you guys.
Let's hear it.
So one day I was in a gas station with some friends in elementary school at a camp. It was a camp. So I'm not just hanging out in gas stations in elementary school.
It's one of the things Nick
But
used to do.
everyone was getting their chips. They were being basic, getting like Lay's and Takis, Flamin' Hot Cheetos. But I found myself wanting to be different. And that's when I saw the Fritos flavor twist honey barbecue. And let me tell you, man, those things were a hit because when I was around this age, these things weren't as popular. I think they're like more popular and well known now.
Yeah.
But like I don't know, like nobody had like really gotten them before, and so I got those things at camp, man, and they were gone immediately. People were like, "Yo, these are so good." I think I had like 5 out of the whole bag. I don't know what was going on. I was just sharing is caring, I guess. But literally ever since then, I have like when I go into gas stations and you're just getting your quick like bag of chips or something, these are something that I'll grab.
Oh, yeah.
These things are so great. It brings that like barbecue taste that we all love, but also like the crunch of a Cheeto together. Tell me
Oh,
that's a great
did you
description.
just create that? Did you just
I just
create
create
honey
that.
barbecue Cheetos and that's what the twists are?
Oh my gosh, bro,
That's
that's what they
incredible.
are. Dude,
History has just been made.
we need to we need to sign with some company on promotions.
Cheeto, sponsor
Hit
us.
us up.
We'll sponsor you. Either way.
Yeah, facts. Dude, but let me hear why you like the Fritos flavor twisted honey barbecue.
I'm going to say something that makes no sense. You ready?
Yeah.
The twist makes it taste better. I don't know how. I don't know why or in what world it makes sense, but there's something about if they were shaped like the normal Fritos, I think we're not talking about this right now. The twist brings out a different thing. Second main point I'll say with these is there are always so many in the bag. And that's what makes these great.
You never get ripped off.
You're never getting ripped off, whether you buy the smaller version or they don't have like a full size version. They only have the medium and then the small. But even the small, you're gonna get way more bang for your buck with I always come back to the dollars here. It's like, for those of you that just can't really afford the on the border chips, I'm with you. I'm here with you. And I'm telling you that the Fritos honey barbecue twists is such a great deal. You get so many little twists in there because I think they fit in the bag really well. And
yeah, that's probably it.
It's just an incredible chip. An incredible chip. I do have to do an honorable mention. Shout out to Frito. The chili cheese
Fritos are good. Yeah.
Chili cheese Fritos are they have to be mentioned in this conversation. Didn't quite make the list, but are just an incredible, really good,
Dude,
really good
speaking
chip.
Of Taco Bell, Fritos and the Frito burrito thing. Stop playing with
you guys
me,
are
bro.
You guys are literally healing the world out there, just being amazing. No,
that's one way to put it.
I love the flavor. I think the only thing that makes barbecue better is honey barbecue. And that's been, that's exactly what this chip does. And I just can't. It's incredible.
Incredible.
Right? It's incredible.
Absolutely incredible.
Both of our, even more incredible is it was both of our number 2s.
That's kind of crazy because I even thought that I was coming out of left field with that pick.
Definitely not a Nick pick, nor is it a Jake take.
Or it is the
both. Take.
The take.
Depending on who you ask.
Actually, you want to hear what the take is, man?
Oh, no. It's number 1.
Before I tell you my number 1, Ranker fam, what would really mean the world to us is if you would just hit us up on any social media platform that we're on, aka Instagram. Like we mentioned earlier, we're on there probably the most, where we will interact with you guys, and that's where we're going to find our listeners' pick, where we do a podcast from what you guys have suggested to us. And then we're also on Twitter. You can also email us at the rankerspodcast@gmail.com. And then we're on YouTube if you want to go hit us up on the YouTube We're excited for what's to come. We got some big things coming. We have our 50th podcast coming up. And as always, rate and review us. As you could see, we got a review today that we shouted out. So thanks for that review. And of course, just any platform that you're listening to us on, please rate and review us. You got any comments about the plugs?
No, the plugs are
50th?
great. Just the 50th is going to be great. Super excited about it. Just excited about what's to come. We have the next couple of weeks leading up to the 50th are going to be really fun. And even after that, we love doing this. We're excited about what's to come. Got a couple things in the works too. Got a couple things cooking.
Heck yeah. Don't tell them. Don't tell them.
No. We're good.
You got to finish it first.
Yeah. All right.
Ranker fam and Jacob, I present to you my number one chip. Popcorners. Kettle corn style.
What?
Oh no. I'm so ashamed in you. You got to know what popcorners are.
You said you didn't have popcorn on your list.
They're not popcorn.
Popcorners.
They are a chip.
Oh, are you talking about the new?
Yes. Ranker fam and Jacob.
I know what you're talking about.
I'm so excited that you haven't tried them yet, because forget all the tortilla chips that you got to go try. You got to try the popcorners, man. My amazing new beautiful wife introduced me to them within the past year, and literally, man, my world has came back to the chip world, because I feel like chips are almost thing of the past. Like, man, I'm eating Doritos and Fritos.
This is the future.
But popcorners are the future, man. These things are amazing. Literally, we got a bag a couple weeks ago, and I finished that junk within a couple of days. Like, no shame. It's literally, it's supposed to be like popcorn in the form of a chip. So like, I'm not cheating, because it's not popcorn. It is chip style. They're little triangles.
It's really more of like a rice cake type of.
It does have a little bit of a similar like rice cake feel. But literally, it's all the greatness that you love about popcorn, and especially kettle corn. If you like kettle corn, you know what that tastes like. So take that amazing kettle corn taste and just like throw out the kernels and like the texture of what normal popcorn would, and like put it in a chip form, and that's what we're dealing with here. It's like,
that's a good sell. That was a good sell then. I just had to stop and tell you that. That was a good sell.
Thanks, appreciate that. But literally, the popcorners kettle corn is just in a league of its own, in my opinion. I'm on the train right now. We're getting them weekly at this point.
Is this recency
some
biased?
Stores don't have them. What?
Is this recency biased?
Maybe might be a little bit recency biased, but they are like gluten free and everything. So hop on that train.
No, I did. I just didn't know what they were called. I have had them, but I will say I've only had the original like sea salt flavor. So I know.
Don't do that. No.
I know. I need to branch out.
Don't do that. So they have 3 different flavors. They have the sea salt, which is the original. Then they have the kettle corn, and then they have like a white cheddar.
Oh no, fam.
For some reason, the kettle corn one is just like if you're comparing it to Sun Chips, like it's the harvest cheddar. So like you have the original, which is like their sea salt is trash. You have like the tomato harvest, whatever, is trash. Is their white cheddar is not as bad, but like the kettle corn is just in a league of its own.
I'm looking right here, dude. They've got 6 flavors.
Oh, they have 6?
Yeah,
I've only seen 3.
Here's the lineup we got. Sea salt.
Yeah.
We got the white cheddar.
Yeah.
There's a sour cream and onion coming in hot.
Oh, is it green? Is the bag green?
Yeah.
Okay, I've seen those. I forgot about them.
Kettle corn.
Yep.
Listen to these 2. Ready? Sweet chili and spicy queso.
Really? I have not seen those 2 nor tried them.
Yeah.
I've tried the first 3 though.
Yeah, we're going to have to do that. That in itself, people, could be a ranking of its own.
Popcorners.
Popcorners.
Dude, there's always rankers, but within the rankers.
Always. This has so many levels.
Oh, dude. Like you said, it's a broad podcast, but please, like, if you try any chips from this podcast, try these. Throw everything else out. Go try those.
Absolutely. If you try any chips from this podcast, try the ones Nick just said after You try my number ones. My number ones
Dude,
are
it's
probably a
good.
little bit more well known, but maybe a little bit slept on. This is the perfect sandwich chip combination. There is none better, particularly like a not just a sandwich that you make at home, but like a sub sandwich shop, right?
Mhm.
My number one is Miss Vicky's jalapeno kettle corn chips. So
Interesting.
this is the green bag that you see at
Yeah, yeah.
Subway, old fashioned looking. It's got the jalapeno thing
Mhm.
on it. These chips are so you know how high I was on the kettle cooked on the Cape Cod,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Cape Cod has their own jalapeno flavor, but to me it doesn't beat out Miss Vicky's. Miss Vicky's is a little less of the twangy, sweet,
Mhm.
and a little bit more of the spicy, which with this particular chip I just prefer. And this has been my favorite chip for like as long as I can remember. Like legitimately, I love this chip.
Wow.
I've been eating it forever. Anytime I go, this is usually the chip I'm gonna get if I'm going to like a sandwich place or something like that. Um, Part of it is the kettle
Mhm.
cooked thing. That's probably half of it for me. I'm just really high on the kettle cooked type of chip.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's also, I love the jalapeno flavor. I love the combination. It's the only combination that is better than barbecue, in my opinion, is the jalapeno. They've just got
Mhm.
something going on there with that flavor. And so I love this chip. If you haven't tried it, try Miss Vicky's brand in particular. Look it up.
Mhm.
They've got a bunch of other flavors in that brand too that are all good. They've got like black pepper, they've got sea salt and vinegar, they've all kinds of stuff that you can try. They do have barbecue ones as well that are really good. Try those, but try the jalapeno ones if you haven't already. And that's my spiel on my number one. They're just incredible. Have you had these, Nick?
I can't say I remember what they taste like, but I know
Wow.
I have had them along the lines. Miss Vickers probably cooking up something different in her kitchen, it sounds like.
She is. She is. She's got something going on. But
Yeah,
it's
no,
just
that's awesome. I'll have to go retry them and let you know how it is. But dude, that was a great pick, and this was a fun podcast. I enjoyed
that's
it.
the list. Do you have any honorable mentions?
Shout out like Pringles. We didn't talk
Okay.
about Pringles at all.
Did make the list. Best
I'm
Pringles flavor? Another ranking possibly?
I don't even talk about like a company that's come up with
Yeah.
a million different flavors,
They need
dude.
to
They've
chill
come
a
out
little
with so
bit.
much. They need to chill. I remember trying one like the pizza one. You remember that
Yeah,
one?
the first ones I can think of are the barbecue ones are good, I think.
Yeah, yeah. I don't mind the original though.
I've
But
got a couple honorable mentions. I would say that sour cream and cheddar ruffles
mm,
are really good.
yeah,
That's
we
the
didn't have
orange.
Ruffles on our
Didn't
list at
have
all.
ruffles. Ruffles are good. I had Cool Ranch as an honorable mention. I had a Doritos. So Doritos used to make the Blazing Buffalo and Ranch. It's like the
Hmm.
light blue bag. I don't know if they still make it. I haven't been able to find it, but they used to make that when I was in like a middle school. Those are
That sounds
really, really
familiar.
good. I like those a ton. The classic sour cream and onion. Those are pretty good.
We didn't have you're not a salt and vinegar guy at all?
I like salt and vinegar, but it didn't make my top
Yeah.
10.
I can't do salt and vinegar, man. There's just
No.
something about those chips I don't like. But that blue
Uh,
bag be hitting different for a lot of people.
Funyuns? Anybody?
Funyuns? I used to like Funyuns, I feel like, but
Funyuns are good.
yeah, they're pretty
Got to
good.
be an HM for me. But
HM.
that's the only
Dude.
ones. Those were the notable ones that I had. Um,
Well, you know what everybody should do is tell us what their favorite chip is. So hit us up, y'all. But this
100%.
was the top 10 chips. Anything else, bro?
What's our next episode, Nick?
I don't know. What is it?
Our next episode, I am so excited about. Hold on, let me take like 2 minutes and make sure that I know which one it is. I need to look
I
on our
was
calendar.
I think I thought I was gonna say the wrong one. That's
No,
why.
I put you on the spot because I couldn't remember.
I was like,
Um,
wait, is it the one that we talked about doing the draft family?
that's what I think it is. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I
It is.
couldn't
It is.
remember if that was the next one or the one after that.
No, it is. We haven't
So
figured
what's
out
the
the
one
one.
after that
We
again?
haven't figured that one out because
Okay,
it's the
okay.
draft one and then one we haven't figured out and then our 50th. So we've
Okay.
got to figure out. Okay.
So I should have just said it then. I would have been right.
So Nick why don't you let the fam know what our next episode is going to be?
Heck yeah. So our next episode is going to be exciting, I think, because it's different. And I know we say everything's exciting, but we've only done a couple of draft episodes. And so that's what we're going to be doing in this next episode. It's a draft episode. But you may also be thinking, oh, it's a sports podcast. But no, this is not a sports podcast either. We are doing I don't even know what the official name of it would be, but
title, I'll say the official title and then you explain it, Nick. So the official title is going to be the Famous Family Draft.
Okay, Famous Family Draft.
And that probably needs an explanation. So go ahead.
So picture this, Ranker fam. You just pulled up to your house. It's Thanksgiving. You go inside, you sit down for Thanksgiving. You got all your family members sitting on the left and your right. And picture yourself in this moment. And this is where we're placing this podcast. So in this setting of like Thanksgiving, you got like your brother, your sister, your grandparents, your mom and dad. You got the weird uncle. You got like a little cousin. So picture all this going on. And then basically create your family, but with celebrities.
Yeah.
And so that's what this podcast is.
Yeah. So just to be clear, So just to be clear, we're not taking our family and recasting them with celebrities. That's kind of a different thing. We're not doing that. We're saying that we are picking a brand new family. Shout out to our families. We love you. We're not replacing you, but we're picking a brand new family, but it's all famous people, right?
Mm-hmm.
The roles are going to be a little bit specific. We'll get into that when we actually get into the pod. And it's not just like movie stars. It's anybody famous. So that's like anybody from history who's dead, like anybody who's alive now, athletes, musicians, just, anybody who's famous, they're on the board, but it's a draft, which means if one pick gets taken, it's taken off the board, right? So we kind of got to be on the fly. We'll leave it there. We won't say much more about it because you'll just have to listen next time. But we're really excited. Draft episodes are fun. And so, make sure to tune in next time for that.
Oh, sure. Yeah, dude, that's going to be excited, and I can't wait for it. And this has been another Rankers Pod.
All right, peace out.